The move. The living room had been a nightmare of blood and chaos, but now the real terror was outside. The cool night air bit at Lucia and Isabela's faces as they hurried toward the pickup truck in the driveway. Their breaths came in quick, shallow bursts, their senses hyper-focused. Every shadow seemed to shift, every distant sound a potential threat. Lucia gripped the keys tightly, her palms slick with sweat. She glanced over her shoulder, her eyes scanning the darkened street for any sign of movement. The house loomed behind them, its windows glowing faintly from the dim lights within. It was the kind of place nightmares were made of, and they had no intention of ever returning. "Come on," Lucia muttered under her breath as she unlocked the truck, the vehicle's lights flashing briefly in the dark. Isabela yanked open the passenger door, tossing the duffel bags onto the back seat. Her hands trembled as she climbed inside, fumbling with the shotgun she had grabbed from the living room. "What if there are more of them?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Then we'll handle it," Lucia said, though her voice betrayed a flicker of doubt. Sliding into the driver's seat, Lucia stared at the unfamiliar controls, her fingers twitching as she gripped the wheel. She'd driven a car once or twice back home. Illegally, of course, but this was different. The truck felt massive, its size intimidating. She inserted the key into the ignition and twisted. The engine roared to life, its deep rumble shattering the tense silence of the night. Both girls flinched at the noise, their eyes darting nervously toward the house. "Hurry," Isabela urged, her voice sharp with fear. Lucia yanked the gear shift into reverse, her movements jerky as she struggled to steady her hands. The truck jolted backward, the tires crunching over gravel. She slammed on the brakes, causing the vehicle to lurch violently. "Lucia," Isabela hissed, clutching the dashboard. "I'm trying," she snapped, her frustration mounting. She shifted into drive, pressing the gas pedal too hard. The truck shot forward, swerving as she fought to control it. From the shadows across the street, the boss watched, his sharp eyes following every awkward movement of the truck. He leaned against his sleek black SUV, his expression unreadable. The faint glow of his cigar illuminated his face, highlighting the faint smirk that tugged at the corners of his lips. The two teenage girls were unlike anything he'd encountered before. They had killed his men, he considered ruthless and efficient, with a ferocity that surprised even him. And now, here they were, fleeing the scene like frightened deer. Yet there was something captivating about their desperation, their determination to survive. Something about how ruthless and unforgiving they were made him wish he had kids to train. "Interesting," he murmured, taking a long drag from his cigar. The smoke curled around him, blending into the shadows. Lucia finally steadied the truck, her knuckles white as she gripped the steering wheel. "We're good," she said, more to herself than to Isabela. The truck rolled down the driveway, its headlights cutting through the darkness. "Do you think anyone heard that?" Isabela asked, her voice trembling. "I don't care," Lucia replied, her eyes fixed on the road ahead. "We're getting out of here." Unbeknownst to them, the boss had already made his decision. He straightened, flicking the ashes of his cigar onto the ground before turning to his driver. "Follow them," he ordered, his voice calm but commanding. "Keep your distance. I want to see what they do next." The driver nodded, slipping into the SUV and starting the engine. The vehicle rolled forward, its headlights off as it trailed the girls' truck at a safe distance. Inside the truck, Isabela kept glancing out the back window, her paranoia mounting. "Do you think anyone's following us?" "No," Lucia said, though her grip on the wheel tightened. "Just focus. We're almost out of here." The empty streets stretched before them, the occasional flicker of a street lamp casting eerie shadows across the pavement. But the sense of relief they had hoped for didn't come. Instead, a gnawing tension settled over them, an unshakable feeling that they were being watched. Miles behind, the boss lit another cigar, his smirk deepening as he watched the taillights of the truck vanish over the horizon. "They've got fire," he said to himself. "I like that." But his intrigue wasn't born of pity or admiration. It was something more dangerous. He didn't want to stop them, not yet. He wanted to see just how far these two young women could go when cornered. As the SUV followed silently through the night, the game had only just begun. For Lucia and Isabela, freedom was within reach, but so too was a danger they couldn't yet imagine.